Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here. Welcome back to the train room for an awesome review. Today we're going to talk about this brand new Protosound 3 MTH Rail King SD9 purchased at Iron Horse Trains. So here we go, guys. All aboard. Alright guys, so I was up at Iron Horse Trains this past weekend and saw this beautiful SD9 in the cabinet. So I asked Troy, hey, can I hear what that sounds like? Can we test run it? And as soon as he fired it up, I was like, yep, that's coming home with me. So I'm sure some of you guys out there have had that experience, just hearing the locomotive, seeing it run. It's like instantly, yeah, I'm taking that home. And it's pretty cool. I was actually there looking for a steam engine to run with some of my wood-sided cars I've been picking up, smaller freight trains, things like that, with PS2 or greater, of course. But it's just picked up a diesel, so it's one of them days you go into a hobby shop not knowing what you're going to find, and I picked up this beautiful diesel. Iron Horse Trains, like I said, located at the Yesteryear Antique Mart, and they will be at the York Show. So if you guys aren't local to Pennsylvania and you're coming to that York Show, check them out, Iron Horse Trains. They have a bunch of new Atlas stuff that came in. They have beer cars, woodside cars, new and used trains, a bunch of new Premier and Rail King cars that just came out. They're absolutely beautiful, so definitely check them out. He has a bunch of newer engines on the way. So as the year progresses, new things come in. And I always find something to mess with, either new or used, things like that. So definitely check them out, guys. But anyways, this piece is a Rail King, and the newer boxes are really cool. Check this out. It's like an orange and goes to yellow. Pretty sweet. And the feature list is massive. Look at that. Look at all these features on there. So we'll get into those in just a moment here. We're going to talk about the SD9. What it did, where it came from, how long did it run for, all that fun stuff. So guys, let's get into some history and backstory of the SD9. Alright guys, so let's talk about the SD9. So these SD9s followed the SD7s with some improvements with the motor and the motive power technology. EMD was cranking these out, which is Electromotive Division of General Motors, cranking them out from 1954 to 1959. 515 of these were produced, and then 44 were actually sent overseas. So my list here said 44 were sent to like the Korea area and also other areas in Asia. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now the SD9s became obsolete late 70s into the 80s. Class 1 started dumping them like fries. So yeah, so these are kind of hard to find. Some scenic railroads may have them. There's a couple of like short line railroads that may operate SD9s, but pretty much all your Class 1s dumped them. They would use them for switching, things like that later on, once your larger motive power became available. Now, our engine here was part of a fleet of 25 SD9s, and eventually made it to the Conrail era with a different numbering, so we'll get into all of that. These locomotives produced 1,750 horsepower with a V16 motor, so 16-cylinder, turbocharged, EMD, Electromotive Division powerhouse right here. So I have a soft spot for high hoods. I think they're so cool. Long hood forwards are even better. They're just goofy. I've heard multiple reasons on why EMD made high hoods with the long nose forward. So the long nose forward kind of went back to the tradition of a steam engine, having the engine in front of you and then you're sitting behind the boiler and all of that. And also for safety, heard that was the other reason. Kind of gave you some like impact zone. So the front of your train would have a little bit of a buffer if you were to hit something or collide with another locomotive. Alright guys, so our locomotive here, number 7615, was built in January of 1958, and the Pennsylvania Railroad classified this as an ES-17M. So some railroads had different classifications. I know Reading did for their diesels. Basically the model's SD9, but then they would classify it as something else. Now later on, this lasted to the Conrail era as 6915 SD9, so a little bit different numbering there. And this actually looks like it had a pretty good life. And here's a picture of it right here on your screen. Looks like it's doing some hard work there. And beautiful locomotive. It's got that nice Brunswick green right there. And Brunswick green, a lot of guys will say, yeah, it's black. But according to the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, it was like 2 parts black and 1 part emulsifier. Emulsifier basically helped protect the paint. That's where that green color came from. That green color, honestly, it's probably a bunch of like lead, lead stabilizers to make the paint last longer. But it's such a cool color. It's a very unique color to the PRR. All right, guys, so enough history. Let's get into this beautiful model. So we're going to read the box. So this box, this feature list is just massive. So SD9 diesel locomotive for ages 14 and up, so whatever. I don't think there's an age limit on playing with trains, but according to this there is. Intricately detailed durable ABS body, so that's the plastic body. Die-cast trucks, sides, pilots, and fuel tank. Metal chassis, wheels, axles, and gears. Metal handrails and horn. Hand-painted engineered cab figurines. Remote control proto couplers. Prototypable Rule 17 lighting. Limited LED number boards. 2 precision flywheel equipped motors. The other features: directional controlled constant voltage LED headlight, operating proto smoke diesel exhaust, onboard DCC DCS decoder, locomotive speed control, in scale MPH increments, 1/48 scale, so that's full scale O scale right there. Proto Sound 3.0 with digital command system featuring freight yard effects. Unit measures 16 inches and 2 3/4 by 4 inches. Operates on 031 curves. So this monster, this monster locomotive hates my 054. I would recommend not running it on 031. So if you guys have 72, 54 and higher, we'll just do that. 54 and higher, you'll be in good shape. I honestly hate running some of these larger diesels on 31 just because of the wires. There's so much stuff on these trucks. I talk about it all the time on the live streams on the channel, on the Monday Run Days. There's so much stuff on these trucks, like your speed control and all that. They just, constantly move. So be mindful of your curbs. So I'm going to get you guys spun around here. We're going to fire her up. I do have a DCS commander, so we can actually get the dispatch sounds and all of that. If you guys are interested, we'll take her over to the desk just so you can hear the arrival sounds, the departure, and the horn and bell, and see the couplers move. Alright guys, so I have the locomotive hooked up to my DCS Explorer just so we can unlock some more sounds and features. So we're going to link to the PRR SD9, and here is the startup cycle right here. So with the DCS app, with the Explorer, you get the horn, the bell, and you also get the forward and reverse. And then also in sounds, you get the reverse coupler, forward coupler. You can turn on and off the headlight up front, turn on and off the smoke unit, and then the engine sounds as well. So the other cool thing, you get PFA, passenger freight announcement. We're going to activate that so you guys can hear some of the sounds that are built into this piece, so you have to use the DCS system to unlock. There's arrival sounds.
Tara, this is local freight holding on track 2.
Local freight, this is dispatcher. Guys, hold it there for a minute.
Copy that, Tara. Awaiting instructions. Over.
Right here's segment 1.
Local freight, this is dispatcher. Thanks for waiting. How can I help you today? Over.
We've got our train and we're holding on track 2. Waiting to depart. Over.
All right, local freight. I'll see how fast I can get you guys on your way. Over.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Over.
Segment 2.
Local freight, this is dispatcher. Over.
This is local freight. Go ahead, dispatch. Over.
I'm going to clear you for track 1 heading south. Are you guys ready? Over.
We're ready and waiting. Over.
Watch for your signal. Over.
Thank you, dispatch. We've got our proceed signal heading south.
Copy that, local freight. You have the proceed signal and you're heading south. Have a safe day. Out.
And then we're going to do shutdown. So guys, those are pretty much the basic sounds you get. Now, if you use the DCS app with the DCS Wi-Fi command, basically you could unlock all those sounds individually. It just says like custom sound 1, custom sound 1 through 10, things like that. So this basically just does that whole departure cycle, No cheese included. I know Lionel's got that. Some of their sounds are just, in my opinion, kind of cheesy. So this sounds really cool. After being on the railroad every day, hearing how dispatchers, engineers, and such talk, it's pretty close. Honestly, it's pretty awesome to hear, MTH putting in that effort to make it almost cheese-free. So I do enjoy that. So let's get her back up to the layout for a run session. All right, guys, so one thing I did notice with this locomotive, I brought it up to the Railroad Club to run with the DCS Wi-Fi system. Everything worked fantastically well, just had some glitches with the Wi-Fi as usual, and then I brought it back home to run on my conventional track. So one thing I did notice with this locomotive is that it kind of got stuck in DCS mode, so all I had to do was bring it over to my DCS Commander workstation and just do a reset. Then I brought it back to the track to run it conventional, and everything worked great. So just keep that in mind. Some of these computer glitches happen a lot, some of these newer electronics, but everything on here runs great. It's an awesome locomotive, a great puller. It may not be the heaviest locomotive that I have, but this thing sure can pull. Now in the box, I forgot to mention that there is a snowplow. I'm going to leave that off. It's just something else to get broken. And then also came with 6 extra traction tires. So thought that was really cool that they threw those in. But one thing I did notice, they did not throw in MTH Proto Smoke. So you used to get like this little bottle of smoke in like a packet or whatnot. There was no Proto Smoke in the box. So if you do purchase one of these locomotives for yourself, just be mindful you'll have to pick up a jar of smoke fluid. I honestly recommend using JT's Mega Steam. Comes in these bottles right here. These are great. I wouldn't use coal-fired steam. For this, I like using sweeter stuff. Like this is a mix of cotton candy, things like that. I've also been running Very Cherry in here. It smells fantastic. So guys, let's get some cars hooked up to this. Let's go for a run session. everyone, that's going to do it for this SD9 review from MTH's Rail King line. This thing is awesome. It's a beast. It looks great in front of a mixed freight or a coal drag. I haven't tried it with passenger yet, but I'm thinking about maybe posting a short of that. It'd be kind of fun just to do. But these are great locomotives. They sound awesome. Love that startup, the different revs and things like that. And of course you have the smoke. So awesome piece, guys. Like I said, purchased up at Iron Horse Trains in Hanover, PA. Can't wait to see what they have at York this year. And if you're local to the area, the Hanover or York area, or even Upper Maryland, things like that, make sure to check him out. He always gets new and used stuff in all the time, so stock's constantly changing. He's an MTH dealer and also an Atlas dealer, so you can pretty much get anything Atlas that you want. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Giving the video one of these really helps. Love reading the comments. Until next time, everyone, happy railroading. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. See you guys.